If you had to complete this sentence, will you use the preterite or imperfect and why? De hecho, las dos opciones son correctas, but they convey slightly different messages. In today's lesson, we are going to tackle one of the trickiest parts of Spanish that hold learners back from breaking through to intermediate Spanish, choosing between the preterite and imperfect. We'll dive into the specific uses of each tense, uncover the pitfalls of using them in isolation, and reveal the advanced applications natives have for the preterite and imperfect. And to make sure I help you nail these tenses, you are going to help me classify real-world examples with the proper tense. As you probably know, the preterite and imperfect are two past tenses, but each one of these tenses refers to different aspects of the past. En otras palabras, si queremos hablar del pasado, necesitamos los dos tiempos to give different information. Más adelante, I'm going to tell you a story using only the preterite, and then I'm going to tell you the same story using only the imperfect so you can see the difference. Pero por ahora, vamos a revisar qué hace el pretérito. El pretérito es el tiempo del pasado que nos permite hablar de acciones que claramente terminaron en el pasado. The preterite is the past tense that we are going to use to talk about completed actions in the past. Something key with the preterite is that it has a very specific and precise nature. En otras palabras, con el pretérito, we're able to count the number of times the action happened o podemos decir claramente cuándo inició o cuándo terminó una acción. Check these examples. ¿Tú cómo dormiste? Yo dormí muy mal. Te compré un chocolate. Now, you might be wondering, how are these sentences fitting a precise nature if they don't even have time markers? Pay attention because these are the most common sentences that you are going to find in conversations. La naturaleza precisa está ahí, pero está implícita. Let's go back and check sentence number 1 again. In this case, by using the preterite, I'm implying that I'm referring to a specific period of time that the people involved in the conversation are aware about. Imagine that in the morning I ask you, ¿tú cómo dormiste? Yo dormí muy mal. Aunque no estoy mencionando el tiempo, I'm obviously talking about last night. What happens with the second example? Te compré un chocolate. Over here, I'm able to count the amount of times I performed this action. Just once, this is a one-time thing, it's not a habit. I'm going to use the preterite. Aunque la información puede estar implícita, we can also state it explicitly. Te marcamos 3 veces, pero no contestaste. Luis y María se casaron ayer. Over here, I have something very specific. The time marker ayer. Time markers are great to help you identify the preterite, but they are not your friends. Más adelante te voy a mostrar cómo los marcadores temporales are going to betray you. But before we do that, let me tell you what the imperfect does. El imperfecto is the past tense that we are going to use to talk about past ongoing actions or recurring events. Acciones que hicimos repetidamente. Y porque hicimos estas acciones repetidamente durante un periodo de tiempo muy largo, estas acciones have no clear beginning or ending. Si el pretérito es preciso y va al grano, if the preterite is precise and gets to the point, the imperfect beats around the bush. In other words, el pretérito describe rutinas, lugares, personas u objetos en el pasado. From a storytelling point, the imperfect is great because it's going to give you the details and the context that you need to understand a past event. Check the difference with these examples. De niña dormía muy mal. This is a repetition. Clara estaba muy enojada. Esto es una descripción. And again, we have a routine in the next example. Susana siempre compraba muchos chocolates. Observa algo clave con estas acciones. These are actions that either happened on a very precise moment in time or they happened for so long that we're not able to tell exactly when they started or when they ended. Clara estaba muy enojada. We don't even know when this happened. Ahora, tómate unos segundos para checar la siguiente oración. Cuando se casaron, María y Luis tenían 20 años. Aquí estamos usando los dos tiempos. We are using both tenses. We're using the preterite to refer to a unique single event that is over. They got married. Their age is just additional information that allows us to understand the main event a little bit better. Contrario a lo que mucha gente piensa, the preterite and imperfect are not opposite forces. In fact, they work together to give you a full picture of the past. Let me tell you a story using only the preterite so you can see what happens. Imagine that I finally went out with my longtime crush. Y cuando me preguntas por la cita, yo te digo, Luis Alejandro llegó por mí a las 8, me trajo unas flores y fuimos a cenar a un restaurante italiano. Pedimos pasta y una pizza, pero no comí mucho. Platicamos y nos reímos mucho y después de cenar fuimos a caminar. La verdad, Luis Alejandro fue muy caballeroso y me trató muy bien. Okay, what is this? A business report o la cita que estuviste esperando por mucho tiempo? Where are the details? We don't have any details. You want details? Let me give you some details. Imagine that in the same situation, I respond using the imperfect. Estaba muy nerviosa y no sabía ni qué hacer ni qué decir. Luis Alejandro se veía guapísimo. Traía un suéter que le resaltaba los ojos. Como era viernes en la noche, había mucha gente en el restaurante. You guys went for dinner? Eran como las 10 y yo estaba temblando porque además de que seguía muy nerviosa, tenía mucho frío. No me malentiendas, don't get me wrong, the details are great, but what happened? I didn't understand. This story is a little bit confusing because we don't have main events or actions that we completed. The story doesn't move. And the story doesn't move because the imperfect is in charge of setting the scene and giving you details. It's not going to tell you about completed actions, event sequences, or unique events. Si quieres hablar de eventos únicos o acciones terminadas, necesitas el pretérito. Let me show you the difference. Luis Alejandro llegó por mí a las 8 y me trajo unas flores. Traía un suéter que le resaltaba los ojos. Se veía guapísimo y yo estaba muy nerviosa y no sabía ni qué hacer ni qué decir. Fuimos a cenar a un restaurante italiano y como era viernes en la noche, había mucha gente. Pedimos pasta y una pizza, pero no comí mucho porque seguía muy nerviosa. This version of the story makes more sense porque estamos usando los dos tiempos verbales. We're using the preterite to advance the plot, to tell people what happened. We are using the imperfect to fill in the details. Estos detalles son muy entretenidos, pero también son muy útiles para entender el contexto en el que pasaron los eventos. The details are great and they are very entertaining, but they also have a key function to give you the context in which the action took place. Some students think that they don't need to worry about combining the preterite and imperfect because they are not going to be telling stories that often. In real life, we actually combine these tenses in shorter sentences. For example, ¿dónde estabas cuando quemé la cocina? Over here, the main event and hopefully unique es quemé la cocina. Your location is just additional information that allows us to understand this event a little bit better. The same happens with the next example. Luis tenía 20 años cuando te conoció. The main event is that Luis met you. Su edad tenía 20 años es información adicional que nos permite entender la acción principal un poco mejor. And finally, we have Carla fue a la tienda mientras yo preparaba la cena. Yo preparaba la cena refers to a past ongoing event. And check that I'm not even stating when I started and when I ended cooking dinner. Hopefully it wasn't, but I doubt it. The main event here is Carla fue a la tienda. And this is clearly over the moment she went to the store and came back. To make sure that you know how to combine the preterite and imperfect, I need your help completing the following sentences. Tienes unos verbos en paréntesis y necesitamos conjugarlos con el pretérito o el imperfecto. To complete these sentences, we need to identify the main action and the details. Let's start with sentence number 1. Over here, what do you think is the single action, the main event that is over? Me quedé dormida. La acción terminó cuando yo cerré mis ojos. The second part of the sentence is just providing details. Mientras Mayra lavaba los platos. Check that we don't even know when poor Mayra started washing the dishes or when she ended. We don't know because I fell asleep. What about the second example? Where do we need to use the preterite and where do we need to use the imperfect? De hecho, necesitamos usar el imperfecto con los dos espacios. What's the main action here? What are we doing? No estamos haciendo nada. No tenemos una acción principal. I'm just giving you details about our location. We don't have a main action. Mientras Mayra estaba en el dentista, yo estaba en el supermercado. Por su naturaleza tan diferente, los marcadores temporales del pretérito y el imperfecto son muy diferentes. The time markers for the preterite are going to be more precise or they are going to convey that the action is over. Por ejemplo, ayer, anoche, el año pasado, en 1990, hace más cantidad de tiempo, ya. On the other hand, the time markers for the imperfect are not going to be precise. Estos marcadores temporales van a expresar rutina o van a hablar de un periodo de tiempo largo e impreciso. Por ejemplo, siempre, en ese tiempo, cuando, nunca, cada, antes o a veces. Let me show you the difference between these time markers with some examples so you can see the difference side by side. Ayer fui al cine. This is a single event that happened over a very specific period of time. Ayer versus iba al cine todos los días. Todos los días conveys a sense of routine and as a result, I need to use the imperfect. Now, let me show you how these time markers are going to betray you. Check this sentence. Anoche me sentía mal. You might be thinking, this sentence is incorrect because we're using a very precise time marker, anoche, with the imperfect. But no, esta oración es correcta porque no tenemos una acción principal. Estoy dando detalles de anoche. As a speaker, I'm emphasizing the ongoing nature of this state. I'm not saying exactly cuándo comencé o cuándo terminé de sentirme mal. Now check this example. Te escribí todos los días. Now we're combining a time marker that expresses routine with the preterite. Why? Número uno, because I want to express that the action of writing is over. Y número dos, recuerda que con estos tiempos, especially with the preterite, the information can be implicit. Aquí la oración se refiere a un periodo de tiempo que los hablantes conocen. We're referring to a period of time that the people involved in the conversation know. Puede ser todos los días durante un año, todos los días durante un mes, todos los días durante 10 años. We don't know, but the people involved in the conversation are aware of this information. Now that we're discussing advanced uses, I want you to check the following sentences. By the way, these sentences are both correct, but they are conveying different information. Can you see the difference? If I say la quiso mucho and I use the preterite, estoy enfocándome en el final de ese amor. Pero si digo la quería mucho, I'm using the imperfect to emphasize the recurring nature of that love. Estoy enfocándome en la naturaleza repetitiva durante un periodo largo e impreciso del pasado. So, there is a difference, it's subtle, but it's there. What I'm trying to show you with these examples is that natives and advanced students can manipulate these tenses and even the time markers to emphasize certain information about their past. So next time you listen to a native speaker using one of the past tenses and you thought he or she needed the other one, this is what's going on. Ahora que ya sabes cuándo usar el pretérito y el imperfecto y cuándo combinarlos, I need your help to classify some real-world situations with the proper tense. I'm going to show you a sentence based on a context and I need you to help me choose if we need the preterite or imperfect. Let me show you the first one. Over here in the first part of the sentence, I want to tell when somebody was born. This is a very specific, unique event that we can actually place in time. Do we need the preterite or the imperfect? El pretérito. Juan nació en 1989. En la segunda parte de la oración, I want to tell his mother's age. ¿Necesito el pretérito o el imperfecto? El imperfecto. Y su mamá tenía 20 años. This information is not the main event. No es irrelevante because it's giving us details about the main action. In the next situation, we are going to use the verb ser. En la primera parte de la oración, I want to tell the date of an habitual event. Do I need the imperfect or the preterite? Imperfecto. Normalmente, this is a sense of routine. Las graduaciones eran en julio. Now, I want to tell the date of a specific event, my graduation. ¿Pretérito o imperfecto? Very good. Pretérito. Normalmente, las graduaciones eran en julio. Pero la mía fue en octubre. Single event. In the next sentence, we want to talk about Juan's routines. Do we need the imperfect or the preterite? El imperfecto. Cada lunes, and again this is a sense of routine, Juan iba a clases de piano y practicaba en las tardes. Check that in this sentence we don't have any information that allows us to understand exactly when Juan used to go to piano lessons and when he used to practice. In the next situation, we are going to conjugate three different verbs: salir, marcar y contestar. Let's start with the first part of the sentence. Aquí quiero hablar de las acciones que hice ayer. This is very specific. I need the preterite. Ayer salí con Laura. Now that we have this information, let's go check the second part of the sentence and let's look for any elements that can help us decide if we need the preterite or imperfect. Over here, this expression, un montón de veces, allows me to count the amount of times I did this action. Un montón de veces. So, this situation is referring to specific actions. Actions that happen on a very precise moment in time, such as ayer, or we can also count how many times they took place. So, the correct sentence here should be: ayer salí con Laura. Te marcamos un montón de veces, pero no contestaste. Hopefully, this is a single event and not a habit. En la siguiente oración, quiero expresar la ubicación de una persona en un periodo de tiempo definido. Expressing location in a very specific time frame is something that we usually do when we talk about people. Do we need the preterite or the imperfect? The preterite. Tania estuvo en mi casa todo el fin de semana. The weekend is over, so as the action. What happens if instead of expressing location over a very specific period of time, quiero expresar la ubicación habitual de algo? En ese caso, necesito el imperfecto. Mi primer trabajo estaba muy cerca del centro. Check that this sentence is just providing additional information about the past, but we don't have a main action. ¿Te acuerdas que te dije que en algunas situaciones podemos usar el pretérito o el imperfecto dependiendo qué queremos resaltar? The location of people is one of those situations. Imagine that I was not home all day, and when I get there, mom is super upset. Obviously, she's not going to focus on the fact that I was gone 2 hours. No, she needs to make this a big deal, and she's going to emphasize that I was gone for an indefinite period of time. If that's the case, she's going to say, ¿Dónde estabas? I will answer, ay mamá, estaba en la casa de Julieta. Could I use the preterite here? Sí, sí puedo usar el pretérito en mi respuesta si quiero dar información más precisa de mi ubicación. Ay mamá, estuve en casa de Julieta 2 horas y después fui a trabajar. The last situation we have is describing people, places, or things. How will you complete this sentence? ¿Pretérito o imperfecto? Muy bien, imperfecto. Mi escuela era muy grande y tenía muchos columpios. Now that we practice together, the challenge for this video is to complete the following sentences. Checa los verbos en paréntesis y pon atención al contexto para que conjugues usando el pretérito o el imperfecto. Leave your answers in the comments so I can give you feedback if you need it. Para hablar correctamente del pasado, mastering both the preterite and imperfect is essential. In the description, you are going to find links to 2 lessons. One that focuses specifically in the preterite and another one on the imperfect. Chécalas para ver explicaciones más detalladas y más ejemplos so you can master these tenses. Eso es todo por hoy. Si te gustó el video, single event, dale like y espero verte pronto. Adiós.